Yeah, this is a Calicat, the Calicaster. This is a review of Moana 2. Moana 2. Early show here on Black Friday. 29th of November. Day before the birthday. I don't think we'll cover the birthday at all. But, yeah, Moana 2. This is, there's footage from the Black Friday that I'm going to put that up too. And so we have a sequel. The only review I watched two reviews of it. I watched the Campia short review, and I watched Saber Spark short review, because he goes into some of the backstory of how the Moana sequel was in production during the writer's strike last year, and they had to go turn it from a show into a movie because they didn't complete it. That's what happened. They didn't complete it, so it was going to be a show. It's going to star most of the main cast, and that's why the first act has a confusing amount of extra characters. I agree with the sentiment of some of the reviews that the songs aren't as memorable as the first one, but that's the case with most sequels. You don't remember the sequels. But there were tearjerker moments. There were moments of clarity. There were cool gags and things. Not sure what the coconut people are supposed to be. Some kind of tiki creatures that are coconut critters of some kind. It's supposed to be coconut pirates, according to Mark Cards. But yeah, how are they alive? Are they like, what is it? Yeah, in that universe of that world building, what's making things happen? I understand it's a cartoon, and it's taking off the Polynesian ideas and whatnot, and of course, kind of eliminating, like the third movie kind of eliminated the whole exploration thing, which is kind of weird. Is that their island they explored everywhere. They got to America. They went everywhere, all over the Pacific. Is it descendants of Polynesians and Siberians formed the Native Americans that went over the land bridge. So, and then down south, the South American ones. So they made it all the way to South America. Yeah, from Polynesia. So they're mixed in there. Found DNA. So they even got that far, across the whole thing, hopping along islands. And Hawaii was inhabited when we found it. Yeah, sorry. All those other places. I guess the island god from the first one wasn't really Hawaii, but it just kind of looked like it, and that's not what they are, I guess, or something. There's an evil bat lady who captures Maui, who is one of the Hawaiian islands is named after, and Maui, and he's got to call Moana for help, and they just happen to be in the area. There are parts that are rushed because it was a show. It's meant to be like 3 episodes of a TV show. That's really obvious from the 3 beats in the story. That's what it was. So it wasn't just Saberspark that discovered that. It was a pilot, and then it was 2 episodes. And it ends in a cliffhanger. Spoilers. But there's a Marvel kind of cliffhanger. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I liked it though. I was one of the shills for Disney. Yeah, that's it. But I liked it. No, it was fine. They got Elena Chavavo and they got The Rock back, and they did the whole thing. And she had to re-record a lot of lines to make it match like the movie. And but yeah, they had to do stuff over. Apparently, they're not casting her as Moana in the live-action one. They're saying, oh, she's too young. I think is what they said on the on-screen crush thing. But I think they meant too old. That's what they meant. At this point, she was like, they made that movie when she was like actually 16, the first one. Now she's in her 20s. She's 24, 25. So they have to like. Yeah, what were they going to do? But yeah, so they get somebody else, so that's not going to be as good. I don't know how that's going to work. They're going to do a live action one in the same year that they're doing the other one. All that stuff happened during the writer's strike last year, which ended around This time last year, around this time last year. We were doing play rehearsals and stuff. Just in time for those that were in the play, that were in SAG-AFTRA. I was not, but some of them were. They could actually go and be in the play. But we assured them that at the time that because it's a volunteer play, and you're not getting paid, SAG-AFTRA is not really going to care if you go and do something on your own. I also wrote a story, a Distant Destiny's story spin-off sequel thing back during fan films, and at the same time. And I'm not SAG-AFTRA, so I got away with it. I'm not WGA either. Anyway, so that's what was going on at the time. It's relevant because that's what's going on at the time. Yeah, it's not irrelevant. That's what was happening here. We're not working for Disney. Anyway, so they had a lot of animators on this, doing this. They had a lot of people, I don't know them. And Lucasfilm was involved in sound. Of course, they do all the sound. The plot is that Moana's got to go and find this island. She discovers evidence in a little broken clay jar thing. The evidence that this other island exists, and somehow that evidence is narratively put into the story using like still sheets, like they're spoofing those ancient Disney cameras with the spoof things, but on a tapestry instead, painted on tapestries. They're spoofing that. They even do the shutter thing with the spinning around in that gag. But yeah, the rotoscope camera thing. A lososcope or whatever it's called. It's got a name. I'm not looking it up. The songs seem okay. It's a little weird because it's its own universe and its own version of Polynesian culture, which are several. There's 40 different in the island of Philippines alone. There's 40 different language groups. This is the other one. A similar one was The Last Dragon, which was incorporating the Eastern and Western Islander cultures together, and it annoyed somebody named Lindsay Ellis, who was a white lady posting on another white person, posting on a board on her channel, and she was one of the content creators on the YouTube, and she liked Moana but didn't like The Last Dragon. So. But because of the cultural appropriation, but they didn't like that she wasn't that culture, so she could appropriate it. I'm not either, but my nephew's married to the Filipino ladies. There's Filipino families, half of them. So there's actually backstory in there, and I can say, well, I know some of that. I know that Last Dragon did not offend the Filipino relatives. They liked it. Nor did Moana. They liked it. So. I don't know about part 2. I don't know if they've seen it yet. But they're probably out seeing it right now, actually. It's probably. I just saw it earlier. But yes. It was fine. Some of the critics are knocking it already. It's fine, salvageable. I have not seen Wicked, the movie. It has. I know it's been out for a week now, but I haven't seen it. Maybe we'll see later. You want to catch the Oscar movies? That's probably one of them. So I'll be catching it. But it being late November, and that's when all the Oscar movies come out, between late November and late December. And so far, they haven't released any big name Hollywood drama things saying like, this is the next Oscar movie. Nothing like that. It's been all like kind of a slow burn because of that hiatus a year ago. That long writer's strike and actor strike. That was just not that much. The previews were... They showed a preview for Lilo and Stitch, the live-action movie, showing Stitch crushing sandcastles, and they made him look weird. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what that is. It's kind of like the Sonic the Hedgehog thing, which they showed a preview for part 3 as well. Sonic Hedgehog 3. And made it look darker and made it look like more like like a Spider-Man Venom movie or something. They changed it up a little bit, made it more scary, made it look like the two villains are actually out to get Sonic, and that's why they pulled the other guy out of shadow, out of time, or whatever. I did not see the second one, so I don't know. I saw parts of it. I didn't see the yeah. There's just and then there's the Bad Guys 2 and Dogman. Bad Guys. I didn't see the first one. Cartoon. Dogman is the one where it's sort of like the guys that did Captain Underpants did a dog one. Basically, it's kind of what it looks like. And maybe it's not, but it kind of looks like the similar anime. And the animation is similar to the Spider-Man movies and the Turtles movie with that jerky sort of animation thing with a panel comic book panel animation. So yeah. And the other preview was Mufasa. Yeah. The underwhelming third trailer of Mufasa, which the entire audience was just like, what? What am I looking at? They introduced the bird and the monkey as if they're around and they're alive when Mufasa is like a young lion, and then somehow they're still alive when he's old and he dies as scarred later on. That makes no sense. How would a baboon is not going to live as long as the lion is. Neither is the bird. So it doesn't make any sense that they'd be the same people. It really, really doesn't. And and that we need to know the origin story of Mufasa. We don't need to know that. It'd be like saying, "Oh, I'm going to do an origin story of sort of." The character dies in the Lion King, so it's like, why do we care what happened to him before the Lion King? It's just Lion King 3 all over again. I don't need to do that. So like, but yeah, although Lion King 1.5. Anyway, so yeah, that was a preview, and yeah, yeah. So this. Yeah, there isn't much more to say really about Moana 2. Go out and see it. It's fine. The animation is perfectly salvageable and pretty and everything. It does have a kind of a rushed weak third act, but if it was indeed a series meant to be 3 half-hour episodes, then yeah, it would have a weak third act because the third act wasn't meant to be the end. The third act was meant to be the middle of a season. So yeah, I hope they're filming part 3 now because of the way that cartoon ends. It's gotta be a follow-up. And how does that universe work? You have the gods and things. Are they literally real? Because then, like, doesn't that make the whole thing completely like, okay, why didn't 300 years later, why didn't the colonial people encounter them too when they were going over there? If they're actually real, the gods are real. Space gods. It's like, does she blow them all up? Well, they did kind of retcon back in the idea of they were able to contact the people by raising the island, and shiny guy appears again. And no, it's not actually me playing the guy. That was another actor. It just kind of sounded like the Silly Kelly character. It sounded like Frutika, Fred's Highspass character. But it wasn't either of us. So no. No. Yeah. No, that was not us. Yeah. So with Moana 2, I guess I really don't have much else to say about it. It works. It's perfectly salvageable. It's fine. It's not 4 stars like the first one. It's probably around 3, solid 3. Sure, sequel, fine.